What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we are going to be taking a look at the very anticipated figure of the Wolfman from the Universal Monsters by Neca. Now, I say very anticipated because we need more figures in the Universal Monsters line by Neca. This is one of my favorite lines running right now, and I have two figures, not just one, but two figures to go over within the next couple of days. So here's a little tease of the next one coming. But first, let's start with the Wolfman. Taking a look at that poster art for the packaging. That is beautiful. Like, they really need to go ahead and release these as posters. I would buy every single one of them, just like little cutouts like this, because I don't like to ruin my box. On the side, you get the Wolfman, Universal Monsters by Neca. On the back, it says the Wolfman with beautiful photography of the figure. Like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different shots of the figure on the back. So awesome. A different picture from the other side. On the other side, you get Universal Monsters. I found this at a local comic book store called Phantom Comics. Please go check them out. They are fantastic. If you're in the New Hope area, go give them a follow on Instagram. It says Wolfman, barcode if you need it. They are fantastic. Definitely go check them out. Love them. You get to see the figure, everything he has, and then another beautiful art. This was the first picture that they showed of the figure, but enough rambling. Let's go ahead and open this bastard up. Getting this guy out of the packaging. God damn. This guy is amazing. I mean, Neca hits it out of the park yet again, which honestly at this point is no surprise. I don't think anybody should expect anything less of Neca at this point, but they killed it on this furry fucker. He is like pretty much perfect for what it's supposed to be. I mean, I know people are going to nitpick on certain things, but I don't have a single issue with this figure. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Not a single issue. For the price point, not a single thing. Even, I think this is worth more than they freaking charge for it. But, hey, I'm not going to complain about cheaper action figures. But let's go ahead and take a look at this because there's a lot to go over. So, starting off with the head sculpt here. That is scarily good. I think that looks so fantastic. It looks just like it does in the movie. You have... Not only do you have the face like printed on, but on the fur around the face, there's like 3 different shades. You get like the lighter gray for like the highlights, lighter brown, darker brown, maybe even a wash in there. The face sculpt looks incredible. And this is only one of 3. So the other 2 look just as good. This isn't even my favorite one. And it looks so good. The poofy hair and the paint carries all the way around. Looking into the body here, I don't know if this is reuse of like a Freddy Krueger or Jason or something. You can let me know if it is. I don't really care if it is because it gets the job done. You get that dark green with like the, the black wash over it. You get the belt and the buckle painted, which that silver is the only time you see silver on this entire figure, and accessories and all. Maybe a little bit on the cane, which we'll show in a second, but it's just crazy. You get the sculpted arms, which look beautiful, and then you get these wolf hands, and the claws are painted. All the detail. There's a dry brush on the inside of the palm to like represent like the skin parts, and both hands are sculpted so nice. I love the positioning of them. They're not like a stupid trigger finger like we would get from the McFarlane Toys figure. The pants look awesome. You get like a nice dark wash over them. They convey like the dirtiness of them. They're cuffed at the bottom with a different paint color to represent that. And then you get the wolf toes. And man, these feet look awesome. They get the ankle. Like the ankle looks nice. But then the the calf looks really good. So there are peg holes on the bottom of his feet. And now one of the accessories, which I'm going to go over really quick, is this stand. And now this is because in the movie, he walks on his toes. And obviously the action figure is not going to be able to do that. So if you want him to walk on his toes, they put the peg hole at the front of the feet, which is really clever on Neca's part. And honestly, something I don't think they needed to do, but that fact that they did just shows that they go the extra mile. You can have him like standing on his toes because he like typically crouches and like, has like that canine degenerate walking thing. So if you want to do that, you can. This does come with the figure. It's just like a little piece of plastic, but it's good quality. But I just thought I'd go ahead and show you that. But the feet themselves look awesome. I'm fine with just having him walk on. I don't really like figure stands. I think they ruin the effect of the display most of the time. So I tend to just have it standing there, and you know, his feet are a little raised, but it honestly doesn't bother me. And I didn't even notice that until I realized what this was for. So yeah, this figure is beautiful. All the fur matches. One thing that I'm going to mention, which is a little strange, if you notice on my right bicep, it's kind of like soft, but then on this side, it's not. It's like, it feels like two completely different plastics for the same part of the body, which is a little strange. I'm not really sure why they did that. It doesn't really bother me, and it doesn't like affect anything visually. Just thought I'd mention that. Let me know if yours is like that too, because I don't know why they would do that. But as mentioned, this thing comes with a shit ton of accessories. So let's go ahead and take a look at those, because it is going to take a minute to go through all of them. So along with the figure stand and two heads, which we'll take a closer look at in a second, you get two interchangeable human hands, which you can make a completely different look for the figure. So I'll show that in a second. And then another human hand, for a gripping hand for holding the cane, which also he comes with, which looks really, really good. So you could just have this put on the cane. And then looking at the cane here, you get two different colors on just the head of it alone, which looks really, really awesome. Then it goes down, and then there's a little bit of silver at the bottom. So nothing too crazy with the cane, but it's what it needs to be. It's some pretty firm plastic too, which is cool. You get a working bear trap, which is awesome. Obviously, it's not going to like close when you do that, but there's a little hinge here for the clasp, and then for the releasing pedal, it does move, and then obviously the trap itself hinges. So if you want to have him trapped in there like in the movie, boom, you can have that. So awesome. I never thought I'd have a bear trap accessory in my collection. Like, what are the chances of that? Like, and Neca did it beautifully. Like, if you take a closer look at this, there's dry brush and silver on it, and it just looks rusty and old and vintage. It just looks awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff here. And it's practical, it works. And then probably the weirdest thing that I've ever gotten as an accessory, interchangeable feet. Now it changes at the floor, like the middle of the leg. And like I said, you get a whole different look for this figure. So let's go ahead and show that off. Well, first off, the other interchangeable head that we have two interchangeable heads. The first one, which I'll show, is the other Wolfman head. It just pops on at the neck. You get the screaming or howling or angry head, and this is my favorite head out of the three. I think I'm going to be using this one the most. I think the paint turned out a little bit better on the standard head. Now that I'm looking at it, I might use this one. The paint on mine is a little shoddy, but honestly, I mean, the sculpt is there. The neck, it interchanges at the neck too, so you don't get like a weird skin tone neck. This is awesome. You get like the growly face. The face is still painted good. It just seems like the fur went in a little bit further than it should have. The ears are still painted on. Man, that looks awesome. But what I think is really cool is you get the Lon Chaney head. If I can get it on there. I mean, I had it on earlier. It goes on. There we go. The human head. Now, the cool thing about this is, like I said, you can get two completely different looks for this figure. So, taking a look at this head here, it looks just like him. From what I can remember, it's been a while since I've seen this movie, but it looks just like him. I like the expression, like the worried, like scowl on his face. You know, it's very appropriate. Like, what the fuck is happening to me? I love the hair. There's two different colors in the hair. It looks really, really good. There's a little bit of like paint in between his eyebrows. I don't know if that's supposed to be there, but you know, it doesn't really bother me at all. And then, like I said, you can get a completely different look for this guy. So with the human head on, you go ahead and pop the hands off. You know, always just be careful with NECA figures. Taking this guy out, it was totally good. Like, I didn't have to heat up anything. It was working good. Nothing felt like it was going to break. Well, knock on wood, nothing has broken. So very cool with that. You pop on the human hands there. That look awesome. And then very easily, this is my first time doing this too, they slide right out and you pop in the human legs, and man, you get a completely different figure. You get a man, and the stress on his face just conveys the nature of the movie, of the transformation. I'm obviously not going to be keeping him like this, but it almost warrants getting two completely different figures. You know, getting two figures, like getting two copies of this to have two completely different figures. I mean, it doesn't even look like the same action figure. This just looks like a standard dude not wearing shoes. You know, you can't even tell this is the Wolfman unless you know what Lon Chaney looks like, but this is awesome. And then the articulation, I'm just going to go through it real quick. You just get a swivel, hinge, and then pivot on the feet, and then same thing with the hand swivel. We'll go over the articulation with the wolf parts right now. So taking a look at the Wolfman's articulation, the head is on a double ball peg at the bottom of the neck, and then he has a bulb joint in the top of the neck, but it doesn't really do much. But honestly, that's perfectly fine. You could get him howling up at the moon. You could get, whoops, it will pop out, but that's totally fine because they are interchangeable. So it'll look down, up, side to side, pivot, great pivot. Lot of great movement in there. Honestly, can't be much better. So this is great range of movement for the head. The shoulders, like I said, they feel different plastics, but they both move up about the same. Down, you'll get rotate 360 on both sides, and then a single jointed elbow that moves in this far, looks great, and swivels. This is the way to do an elbow. Pinless, single jointed, looks good from pretty much every angle, and you get a lot of range still. Like a double jointed elbow wouldn't get much more range than that, so I'm totally fine with that. And then all the wrists swivel and hinge. Now the waist torso articulation is a little limited. You do get a rotation. It'll pivot a little bit side to side and crunch a little bit. It seems like there's another joint up at the top, but it doesn't really do much. Back, the head popped off again. No big deal, pops right back on. So this could be done a little bit better, but I don't think he needs like a crazy amount of articulation in the torso. Just it's enough to get done when it needs to. The hips will do full swivel or full splits, sorry. It'll kick forward that far. Back, not so much. You do get a thigh rotation in there. McFarlane, start doing this. I mean, they've been getting better with it, but I just want to remind them, let them know. Now, single jointed knee, that only gets you about 90. That's the most limiting part other than the torso, but it looks good, and it works for me. I don't really need him kicking his own butt. You get a swivel at the top where the fur, like where the skin meets the pants. Hinge goes all the way up, all the way back, and a beautiful pivot. This articulation is perfect for the Wolfman. Yes, I think the ball joint in the torso could have been done a little bit better, but not by much and not enough to bother me. So this is perfect for what it's supposed to be. So as of right now, the only figure that I have to compare him to, I got two figures here. Here's Zombie Cap, just because, you know, monster theme. Obviously, this is a 7-inch scale figure, so it's not going to work. I almost thought about getting another one for, like, a Werewolf by Night, but he's too big, so I'm going to wait for Hasbro to do their Werewolf by Night. That'd be cool. But the comparison that I feel like everybody's waiting for is the one of him and the Frankenstein. Now, or Frankenstein's monster, I'm sorry. This looks awesome together. I can't wait to get this display. I love the color palette that they use for these figures. It looks, you know, dark and gritty, but still has color and life to it. Now, obviously, Frankenstein is going to be bigger than the Wolfman. That's accurate. I'm totally okay with that. If I'm not mistaken, doesn't this... No. I'll save that for the Mummy video, but yeah, these look amazing together. And if you watch my top 10 action figures of 2021, which if you haven't already, please go ahead and watch that. Frankenstein was on that list. I'm not going to say where he was, but just know that I'm a big fan of this line. So getting these guys together looks so awesome. So while most of my videos aren't any of a surprise, you might be wondering out there, Ant, what are you thinking of this guy? And fuck, is this thing awesome? I am in love with this line. I love NECA, and I'm so happy to finally have a good line of articulated Universal Monsters figures. I'm not a big horror guy by any means, but Universal Monsters has a special place in my heart. I love reading, and I've read most of the books that these movies are based on. I've seen these movies with my dad. Just a big fan overall, and I'm just really happy to get a line of them, and especially when they're done this goddamn good. He's pretty much perfect for what he's supposed to be. Maybe a little bit more range in the torso, maybe a little bit cleaner paint on the screaming head, but other than that, I have no complaints. Easy 10 out of 10 for me. easy 10 out of 10 for me, because this just comes down to QC, and then this comes down to design choices, which is totally fine on my end when this shit is this good. So with that being said, I believe that's all I got for today. So if you've not already, please be sure to do yourself the favor and me and like, comment, subscribe. It's greatly appreciated when you do so. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot on both of those, and I have a lot of fun with it, and I would like to get a little bit more following on each of those. So if you have social media, it's greatly appreciated if you do so. But that's all I got for today. So as always, I leave you with the bearing question. You coppin'? Let me know. I'll see you guys later. Peace.